Hi and welcome back to solving issue 224 of the git-python open source project. So we were actually at a point, oh, that was something else. We're actually at a point where I've removed all these real path conversions, and now I ran into another unexpected issue where for some reason it would use an empty path here, which of course doesn't make any sense. And yeah, the idea was to figure out where that path happens. Maybe it's also the path rewriter that fails to do that. No, it doesn't do anything. Actually, just counts the entries. So that won't be it. From all we figured out is, or all we did figure out is basically that changes and easy setup.py seem to be the ones that kind of get mangled here, and it seems that it kills everything in front of the dot, because easy setup.py all of a sudden is just called pi, and it's really just about finding the point where this happens to native path Linux. So maybe this is the place where it happens. Really just no. So that definitely isn't the one that causes that. Maybe I put in some assertions to maybe catch it as it happens. Also, what kind of objects do we see here? Store file path, that is already empty. That comes from the null entry, which usually means that it doesn't exist yet, which is also maybe a bit weird. Null entry path. So that is empty already, and here we just figure out these null entries, null entry indices, that is. And yeah, it's already in there. This means that I think here entries for path, here is where we get these entries. So here is where I suppose we kill the path. So let's just assert that the git relative path is not empty here. Maybe we hit the assertion, which brings us a bit closer. Yes, there we go. To figuring out what happens here. Apps path. So path is changes. What? And there was path, apps path. Returns. Oh. Self-repo working tree here. Yeah, so here the repo relative thing goes all in the wrong direction, so that doesn't work. Oh yeah, and this obviously is where things go wrong, because the apps path there is relative to our current working directory, and this is not right. Where do I do this? I mean, it has to be relative to... I probably had my reason to put this in, but I don't like it at all. This has to change. You know, I want an absolute path because I'm just brute forcing this into a relative path. And maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I just should check if it's a relative path. You know, I will check for this here. If not, or if it's an absolute path, I will make it a relative path. And then the get relative path I just use here. Can I just overwrite my path? Probably I can. Yeah, but let's just make it clear. So I assume this is a good relative path, and if it's not a good relative path, I will make it one. And we all assume that there's apps path again. What? Where's that coming from? Where was that coming from? Oh. Ah, there. Actually, I deleted assigned apps path. Yeah. So if this is an absolute path, we make it a relative path and just trunk or just cut away the working tree directory here. And we also want an absolute path. Apparently, which we will always generate. I mean, here we always get our get relative path. Let's just make it like this. So if this is an absolute path, then we keep it as apps path and then get the get relative path like this. If it's a relative path already, we do kind of the opposite operation. So as path join. Yeah, even though these should always be Linux path. So I think this join here. Yeah, it's always kind of tricky to figure out what it really wants. OS path Linux. Yeah, I will just make sure that this is a Linux path then. Even though I do a stat here, so maybe it shouldn't be a Linux path, just for the stat. So that should be just a native path. Could be on Windows, and then, you know, Windows will be able to deal with slashes instead of backslashes, but let's keep it as it was intended, I think. All right, so let's do this. Working tree dir and get relative path on top of it. That should be better. I will remove that assertion as soon as I believe that this makes sense. Also, let's run the flick 8, because I have the tendency to put in something that doesn't work. Yes, there we go. Base 4589. Oh, here we are. Yes, that's what Sublime Text does for me. Helper 66 and 70. Yes. Yes, sorry for those. It is very strict, that's for sure, but I think it probably is for the better to keep even the white space consistent. Personally, I'm not such a big fan of this white space stuff that Python enforces on me. because yeah, who cares if there's a space at the end or not? Who cares? I mean, does anybody care really except for Flake 8? I personally don't care because I don't even see it, right? So hey, it's just my opinion. I just, you know, we have Flake 8, so I will obey, but you know, at least I have my opinion and I'm not gonna say I do obey but I don't like it. All right, let's run all the tests, ones with and without the change temp dir, and in the meanwhile, yeah, we do the commit. What was it? 2 to 4, huh? Yes, 2 to 4. And one more time without the override. Should I push this right away? Let's run Flake 8 one more time, even though nothing changed. But you can't be, you know, I find it so annoying if Travis then tells me that Flake 8 failed. And yeah, it's a silly thing. Looks good so far. Oh, maybe there's this asynchronous error that we've seen so many times. No, but maybe it just works. Fingers crossed, please just finish. 47 seconds, taking quite a while. Too long. 50 seconds. All right, that works. So let's push this. Let's push this, be happy, and close this issue. There we go. 2 hours ago. Probably took me just half an hour to do this, but interruptions. All right. Why is this? Oh, why is this there 2 times? Excuse me? Did I mess this up? Did I mess up my commits? I did mess up my commits, and now it's pushed. Now it's not too late, I think. I could force the history here, and yeah, I wasn't focused. I messed this up. Fine, I will live with it. Doesn't look too good here, but hey, that's how it is sometimes. That's how. Yeah, that's just how it is. Okay, do I write a message here? Yeah, sure. Yep, that's it. That's it for this test. That's it for this issue 224. I think it's solved.